Hello friends, welcome to Block Bytes. After the FTX crash, Solana was arguably impacted most amongst the big name investments made by Alameda Research. It is clear now that the money Alameda put into buying the Sol token was not its own, but taken from customers of FTX. The Sol token was already getting hammered in this bear market, along with every other cryptocurrency. But the impact of the FTX fall pulled it down even further. Sol is already down by 93% within 1 year. But has all this value devastation resulted in any change in the fundamentals and the future of this layer 1? Let's find out. In the fundamentals, let's first start with the market cap. Solana got struck by the price de-evaluation, pushing it down to number 16 by market cap. The total value locked also saw a consistent drop since November of last year and a big dip of around 1.8% in November of this year to around 0.65% right now, around the FTX crash. According to DeFi Llama, Solana's TVL fell from $1 billion in 1st of November to less than $260 at the moment. Ethereum, on the other hand, has kept its TVL around the 57 to 58% mark for the entire year. Let's look at the volume and see if price de-evaluation has impacted this metric. The percentage drop in volume to price for Solana is a whopping negative 93% compared to negative 70% for Ethereum. This again shows that the price fall for Solana was much more damaging than Ethereum. It is not surprising that all metrics depending on the token price will be impacted more for Solana than Ethereum, since the price drop for Solana is far more than that of Ethereum. Let's shift gear to fundamentals that are not dependent on the price, starting with daily active users. According to Token Terminal, Solana is currently 4th in daily active users, but this is not the complete picture. The daily active users, if seen historically, has been falling consistently for Solana since May of this year. The purple line here shows Solana, and you can see a consistent dip in that line. In percentages, the drop in average monthly active users for Solana started in May, when Solana had 18% of all daily active users, which has now fallen to around 5%. If this trend continues, we could see Arbitrum overtake Solana soon. Moving on to new addresses, we see a similar trend. We see a drop in Ethereum too, but much less than Solana. So for this layer 1, we see a more significant drop in both active and new users than Ethereum, which is not a good sign. But there are some key developments that Solana is banking on to reinvigorate these numbers, which we will get to a little later. All right, let's move on to transaction count. Since the number of active and new users is dropping, we should also see the transactions decrease. And yes, we see a similar downward trend in monthly transactions compared to Ethereum, where again, we see a similar trend as before. This is not surprising, since we all also know that the user count is dwindling on the chain. So far, we have seen that Solana needs to perform better on the metrics related to price and users. Another set of fundamentals is vital for blockchains: the amount of developer activity behind the scenes. This is particularly important since developers make or break an ecosystem. This is true not just for blockchains, but any other technology as well. So let's look at these numbers. Surprisingly, the downward trend here is not as severe as we saw before. Ethereum has seen more developers leave Solana compared to Solana, according to this chart. An interesting survey was reported on Twitter about Solana developer sentiment, showing shocking results for people outside the dev community. Almost 73% of developers felt strongly about continuing the development work on Solana. Although it is difficult to measure this metric accurately, going by these numbers, the developer base of Solana is sticking with it and not leaving in droves as one would expect. This is positive news. However, Solana still needs to increase its traction. Suppose the applications created by these developers do not find an active user base. In that case, they will eventually have to move on to a different chain. So now let's talk about what Solana plans to do to improve its users and transactions. The name of the game here is TIPIN, which stands for Token Incentivized Physical Infrastructure Networks. These are decentralized and distributed blockchain-based versions of real-world activities. One such project is Helium. Helium is a decentralized open wireless network built on blockchain technology. It incentivizes operators to deploy and maintain telecom hardware in exchange for token rewards like validators and miners on other chains. They recently announced a migration to the Solana blockchain in Q1 of 2023. So what does this mean for Solana? Helium has grown from 15,000 hotspots in January of last year to almost 1 million hotspots today, which is a phenomenal rise. Although data on its active users is unavailable, Helium has 700,000 wallets, which could be an approximate indicator. If we add this number to the Solana active user count, this could make Solana the #1 blockchain by active user count. But Helium is one of the many TIPIN on Net Solana. Pollen Mobile is a Helium competitor in the 5G space built on Solana. They started last year and are consistently growing their user base. This is another project which could see many users getting onboarded to the blockchain. Hive Mapper is another project on Solana, which is a drive to earn network, incentivizing users to provide the network with high quality street view mapping data. This is just like Google Maps, but a distributed blockchain version of it. With a unique dashcam connected to the blockchain, you can map the streets once and keep it updated as you drive around the streets, and in return get paid to do so in their native Honey token. The number of users and transactions is not much at the moment, but with a team comprising of people who have worked with Yahoo Maps, Scale AI, and Mapbox, they know the growth potential here. And finally, we have another TIPIN on Solana called Teleport, an Uber-like app for the blockchain. We don't have many stats for Teleport as it's still in beta. Still, suppose the meteoric rise of Uber was any indication at all. In that case, we could see something similar within the blockchain space, resulting in many more users and transactions on Solana. But it will not be easy. The key here would be to make the process as seamless as possible, not just in how the app works, but more importantly, how easily the on and off ramp happens between fiat and stable coins. But this is not all. Solana is betting big on bringing the average mobile user into the blockchain world. They believe that mobile adoption is the key for the mainstreaming of blockchains, and so announced a creation of a new Solana mobile phone called Saga and a application development kit to go with it. This can truly be a game changer for the chain. We can already see that Solana mobile team trying to churn interest and activity within the mobile development community and teasing people with pictures of their new phone, which will be available in early 2023. The FTX crash has caused massive price erosion for Solana and spread much misinformation about the chain. One of these was to call it the SBF chain, pointing to the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried was a vocal champion for the blockchain. But they were not the only investors in Solana. With such an impressive roadmap of improvements and additions, they should have no problems whatsoever raising more money or funds when necessary. Accepting that the chain has issues around TVL, user, and transaction count is essential. Still, many new projects have already started and are on the horizon, which could easily increase these values. Technical upgrades to the chain are also made to ensure that it can support this additional load in the future. I feel that this is an exciting time for the blockchain and something to keep an eye on. I hope you like this video. Relevant links are in the description. Consider liking and sharing, and I will see you next time with another fresh bite. Bye.